Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you are all doing well. I'm back home since I believe 15-20 minutes because I went for my first game of the season, Anderlecht 2, Wolfsburg 1. I will give you small details about that in a second. But when I heard the triple whistle, at that moment there was the squad list that was out, and we need to debrief that squad list that in a way is quite surprising. With in names, without names, with some numbers, new numbers, that could tell us some things. There are some roles also that have been assigned to players. Are there with the midfielders, with the defenders? We need to speak about it. We need to really go in detail and trying to understand what were our predictions this morning and if they came true or not. So a lot of backstage story about that. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. Please continue to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your patience, for your loyalty. I know it's Saturday. You are not used to 2 videos on a Saturday because most of the time you are enjoying the weekend. You are relaxed. Well, this time we have to speak about Juve because Juve is not waiting. So let's start immediately with the squad list. The first thing that you're looking is, of course, that you see a lot of names. 26 players has been called up by Thiago Motta. And when you're watching, or at least this is the feeling I had when I watched that list, is a lot of players have huge, big numbers. What does that mean usually? Well, the big numbers, over 30, 40, are the players that are coming from the next gen. And usually, when we go towards this tournée, you have a bunch of them. 3, 4, 5, maximum 6. Well, this time when you are watching at the list, you see really a lot of high numbers. The number of Muharemovic, Comanencia, Facundo Gonzalez, Bangula, Sekulov, etc., where you're saying, where are the first team players? At least this is the first thing that I feel when watching. Who are the first team players? I need to check and I need to understand. Of course, you are watching at the goalkeepers, then you see the name of Dusan Vlahovic, of Locatelli, and you say, okay. But it's not enough. So that week in Germany, will it be a real session where we will understand already a lot? Not that much. If we want to know about the starting lineup versus Como. Too many players still need to come. Too many players still need to leave. And a lot of players from the next gen, well, if they are not able in these few days, in these few weeks to really show that they are from another level, well, they will go back to the next gen, waiting for their turn to go back to the first team for maybe being on the bench, being available in case of need. And that's the first thing that I watch. Then, if we are speaking role by role, we see the goalkeepers. Pinsoglio with the number 23. And when you start goalkeepers with number 23s, you know already that you are missing the number 1. Szczesny. Was it a surprise? No, it was not. We were all aware about it. So here, no surprises, but Pinsoglio, the number 23. Di Gregorio, we were all asking ourselves, which number will he take? Because 16, that his favorite number, is taken by Weston McKennie. Number 1 is the one still at the moment of Szczesny. So will he take another number? Will he take the one that is already taken by someone? 29 at the moment. So now for the big fans of Michele Di Gregorio, I would recommend you wait a bit because these numbers can still change, and I'm sure that he's waiting for one or the other to leave Juventus so that he can change the number insured. But 29 for Di Gregorio, Perin, and then Daffara, the goalkeeper from the next gen that did extremely well. On that, we don't have that many surprises except of that curiosity of the name of Di Gregorio. About the defenders, there we have a lot of surprises. 10 names. That's really a lot. 10 names. What I feel there when I'm watching the names, etc., is that we will play with a 4-man defense. Otherwise, you don't call up all these players. Gatti, Cambiaso, Cabal, Jalot are the 4 players that are starting. Of course, you are missing Bremer, you are missing Danilo Capitano. So these 2 players, you need a Todibo or a player like Todibo that can reinforce to really show. But you see that in these 4 players, if you are playing today, you play probably with Cambiaso on the right, with Gatti and Jalot as center backs, and with Cabal on the left, or Cabal there and Jalot on the left. It's really curious. But then you see that that list is continuing with Savona, the defender that impressed the most from the next gen. You have Barbieri, 39, Rui, 40, 43 for Muharemovic, Facundo Gonzalez, 44, Comenencia, 46. So these players, they will play a lot on the wings as fullbacks, I'm speaking. If you are playing with 4-man defense, Comenencia is playing on the right, for example. Savona can play as a center back. Muharemovic plays as a center back like Facundo, but then you have Rui that can play on the left. So they're understanding. We will play one game only. So not even all these players will have the opportunity to play. If they play 45, the maximum of players that you can see on the field are 22. 22 and we are 26. So some players will probably not even play a minute in Germany on Friday. What is, of course, the surprise here that you are missing two big names. The first one is Rugani. The second one is Huijsen. And for Rugani, this morning, I was already anticipating you. I said my big question mark, my big doubt is, will Rugani travel with the team? Will he be called up? Now, from some rumors, they are saying it's because he suffered a small injury. Not something serious, but he preferred not to risk. And this is something that briefly we said on the channel a few days ago. It's true that he was suffering a bit. We didn't see him anymore from that moment on the pictures from Juventus in training sessions. So was it because he was training separately, because he was resting? Or maybe it's a kind of camouflage, hiding the fact that he's really on the mercato, and he's also, I believe, also legitimately pissed off. I'm explaining you in a few words. Rugani was out of contract. They decided to extend his contract. He was extremely happy about that. And now he knows that he's on the market. There were Saudi Arabia club on him, Atalanta, Ajax, now Bologna as well. Bologna wants him on loan or for a really cheap price, where Juventus is saying, no, if you want Rugani, especially after the Calafiori story, you need to pay 8 million euro, which is out of proportion probably for Bologna to pay him. And that's why I can probably understand Rugani that is saying, I was free. I could have chosen whatever team in the world that wanted me to go there for a free, which they save on my value so that my salary can increase. You extend me, and 1 week later, you tell me that I am on the market. Now, the clubs that are interested in me, they can't deal anymore with me, but they have to deal with you. So I can understand on that one that it's a big story, the one of Rugani. And Rugani is not a controversial player, so at the moment it's quite silent. So let's follow that up. And then Huijsen. Huijsen, I told you, he will not be called up. He's close to leave. How close is he to leave? I don't know. It's really strange when we speak about Soule, because Soule and Huijsen were two players that we know they need to leave to cash in. Soule is called up, Huijsen is not called up. So is there an extra reason why the Dutch-Spanish defender has not been called up? Is it because of behavior? Is it because it's clear that whatever happens, Huijsen is not there in the plans of Thiago Motta? While for Soule, they keep him, you never know. In case, at the end, everything collapses, you are able to sell. Well, Thiago Motta still counts on him. Could be, eh? And that's for the defenders. For the midfielders, it's true that you see Locatelli, Adzic, Thuram, Miretti, Fagioli, Nicolussi. So all these players can be considered first team, with the question mark Adzic first team, next gen first team. The first thing that you notice, of course, is that number 17. While all the next gen players, they have numbers above the number 30 or 35, let's say. Well, you have immediately Adzic with a first team number, the number 17 that is free. Adzic, I'm thinking immediately 17, not at Trezeguet this time, but I'm thinking immediately at Mandzukic. Mandzukic, that was a beast in terms of physicality working. And these are also the first words we heard from Thiago Motta about Adzic. Strong physically, good technique, but especially here, mentally. These were the words of Thiago Motta. And then you see that the player is taking, without being fearing or being scared, at number 17. I thought he would go for the number 30. Taking that number 17 is a big, huge sign. Really. Then, that doesn't mean that he will never play with the next gen, that he will not start with them. But it's already a big sign. And of course, him, like the new ones, like Cabal, are for me big curiosities. Like Jalot, where he will play left, right, center back. I'm really curious for these kind of things. Thuram, and number 19, Thuram. Let's check what he will do. We waited for him for so long. So now in that midfield, and also, will we play with 3? Will we play with 2 in that first game? Will we start that first half with 2 and then going towards 3? Big questions. Nicolussi is there. Miretti is there. Fagioli is there. Happy for the number 21 of Juve. He can start again the preseason with us. Being free also mentally, because all his troubles are the past. And now he can focus only on the field. Of course, you see that here you miss maybe the Koopmeiners. You are missing still a Douglas Luiz that, of course, we would have all be curious about. And then you go towards the forwards, where you see Vlahovic, Soule, Wea, Haza, Sekulov, and Bangula. 3 last players are players that are actually from the next-gen team. Wea is a winger, Soule is a winger, so you have only 1 striker from the first team. Milik is a bit injured. We miss a Vice Vlahovic. This is clear when you are seeing that list on the 20th of July, when we know that in not even 1 month, we play our first game on the 19th of August. Soule with the number 18, I already told you, and that's where we go towards. Huijsen is on the market, clearly, has a lot of offers, was not called up, while Soule is still called up. And that's where I think Thiago Motta, until the last day, where it's official, even if it's 99.99, but until it is 100%, he will still continue to count on Matthias Soule, which I'm happy about. Unfortunately, I already mentally said goodbye to Soule, because I don't want to have a heart broken, you know, at the end of the Mercato, not being prepared. But that's a big sign as well. Soule is still there, which means that even if he knows that he is on the market and probably already going to another team, he's thinking and focusing on Juventus Football Club. Something that I really like. Haza has been put there, even if it's more a midfielder than a striker. So curious, and also happy to see Bangula. There is another name. Of course, Kostic is not there, De Chilio is not there, we knew already. But there is another name that nobody's speaking about, and that's the last name I want to mention, is the one of Nonge. Joseph Nonge, that is not in that list. Why am I thinking about him? Why am I mentioning him? Because it's a player that 95% of last season, he was called up with the first team. He trained with the first team. He made already his debut with the first team, only to go back to the next gen in the last part of the season to help them also with the playoffs. But having him, that trained also with the first team in the preseason of Thiago Motta, and that they took a decision. So there are 2 reasons. Or he's not ready mentally to be there yet with the first team. Could be that it's not mature enough to be there. Could be. Another option is that he's already sold. And when we know that Nice, Todibo, there is a big, huge acceleration, that we know that Juventus, they don't want to pay everything cash. Nonge could possibly be a player to Nice, or maybe to another club that they have already an agreement with. Maybe it's a loan to an... I don't know. But Nonge not there should make you think about a lot of things about Nonge Joseph. Let me know what you think. Which is the biggest surprise? Of course, don't come and tell me, Beppe, where is Chiesa, where is Yildiz. If you want to know where these players are, go and watch the video of this morning. But that's normal because they were not there yet. They are not coming back from holiday. They will join a bit later, which is totally normal. So no controversy on these names. That was it. Put a maximum of like. Continue to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.